Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to some of you, and peace out to the rest of you. Hit the share button because the message is more important than the messenger. One thing I have to say about the golden sphere in general, and not even just the ladies have, but the golden sphere in general, is that I'll need to do a lot of listening, but I will have to listen more and talk a lot less to either half in that sphere, largely because it goes back further, and in the time that it goes back, a lot more has happened than what I've thought. The major issues seem to be the political spectrum, conservatism versus liberalism, and additionally, gender conflicts. Both of these are affecting the community from which we come. And I'm going to tell you straight, oftentimes when I hear these arguments and these debates, really, whether it's between trolls and content creators, or if it's between content creators, it really just, it has convinced me even more of the faith I have chosen. I really can't even say I chose it. It's more like my Lord chose me for it, because when you know, you know. But a lot of the debates have seemed to be very shoulder of the road, because everybody wants to miss the middle of the road. There are victims and there are victimizers, oppressors. Obviously, one does not necessarily choose. A victim mentality and a victim narration are not automatically evil things. They're evil when you choose to stay in them. But everybody's going to have to be a victim of something at some point. And hopefully we don't become oppressors. But I hear a lot of debates, and they just really seem to be so easy to resolve, because there's a middle road in between two extremes. When you apply that formula, a lot of things become clearer. An example is when Maria came on to a live stream, and it was Mrs. Golden's live stream, and I was in the chat, and she wanted to say something about us claiming Latin Americans. Well, no, we don't claim Latin Americans. That's too broad. But we might necessarily claim those who will be considered golden within the Spanish-speaking communities of the Americas. Yes, they may be related to us. They may not. It depends on where. It depends on what their backgrounds are. There is a lot of historical overlap. There is also a lot of historical distinction. I do not come from the Spanish-speaking heritage of the Americas. I do come from a similar admixture as much of the Spanish-speaking people of the Americas, in between the original Americans, the Africans, and the Europeans. Maria wanted to troll. Look, let me explain to anybody that wants to get caught up in this. They may be related to us. They may not be. It depends on who they are, what the background is. It would take a DNA test to really know. But if they choose to treat us like we are relatives, we can treat them like they're relatives. If they choose not to, we don't. And that's going to depend on not only individuals, but even nationalities and the cultures, and even generations within the same culture. That's it. You meet people, you let them decide. Remember, the priority of the golden sphere is not about phenotype and genotype. Remember that. We can't even police these sorts of things. There's absolutely no way I'm going to take someone like Weston Brown and say, nah, bro, because you ain't American and because you too dark, you can't come in. I'm not going to do that. He doesn't deserve that. The space is full of people that don't deserve that. And they went through the same experience for no reason at all, through no fault of their own. In the Americas in general, sometimes not. It depends on where. This is a learning phase, but many of us are not willing to learn. But remember, the priorities are equal treatment and safety, justice and safety. Those are the priorities. The congregation, the discussions of the fellowship is fine, but it's going to degenerate because we're not yet ready to learn. Remember, if you lose sight of what the priorities are, you've lost sight of everything else. I don't want any of you being beaten anymore. That's what bothers. I don't want that to happen. I don't even want you being treated unfairly in terms of words without a way to fight back. Deep down, that's really what most of you want. Stop forgetting it, though. Thanks for listening. Black heart, black mind, blackout. Until next time.